Rats. More rats. Stick around. Hiya, folks. Old Man Grognard here again. We've got another module for Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. This one is Rats in the Walls and Other Perils by the man Jeffrey P. Talanian. And this was done in 2019. It's about 40 pages. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Okay, Rats in the Walls and Other Perils by the man himself, Jeffrey P. Talanian. This was inspired by Lovecraft, of course, but it takes a little different tack. This one here is kind of a, well, it's three adventures. And it's for first to second level. Rats in the Walls was published a while ago. And what he did was he took it and he expanded on it and added a few more adventures in here with gorgeous artwork, of course, and it's beautiful right there. Gorgeous artwork and just a whole lot of fun. Once again, bold, where you're supposed to pay attention. And, oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? And as usual, new monsters, new magic items, and sometimes new spells. But this one, I don't think it does. And it's got a fold-out here of a Viking ship and more map. So you really get your money's worth on these. There's the back cover. That's the Rats in the Walls. Take it away, Glenn. Okay, what we have in here is 3 short scenarios that take place in and around the city of Cromarium, which is probably the big city in Hyperborea. And it's for 4 to 6 player characters of levels 1 to 2, which I like. Now, you got 3 short scenarios that you can actually link up a bit, but I'll get to that in a minute. First one is the Rats in the Walls. Now, this is an expansion of an earlier module he did for first edition Astonishing Swordsman. And he pretty much, it's the same story, but he elaborated a bit on the outside and things like that. It takes place on a dockside bar. It's an infestation of giant rats and something that the player characters don't expect. Second one is called The Lamia's Heart. Now, this is a heist. This is a heist where one thief wants to steal from another thief. And it's interesting because it's got a twist that I don't know if the PCs are going to see it coming, but there it is. This third one's called The Brazen Bull. Now, the Brazen Bull has to do with a cult that tries to get their members by burning them in a giant bull. And you have to, this one's kind of loosey-goosey because you can either get entangled with the cult or there's a couple of plot hooks in there. Like one has an old woman looking for her son who managed to join this cult. And they're all a bunch of hopheads. They're addicted to lotus leaves and stuff. And the guy who runs it is this fanatic for whatever god it is. And he puts people in the Brazen Bull. It's either they come out believing in the god or they die. They have a better percentage of dying because of the way they do it. They put them in this giant brass bull and then they light a fire under the bull. And if you survive, you become a cultist. If not, well, time to go bury, I guess. Now, the first one, all 3 of these can be linked together, more or less. The first one, not so much, because it was there before. I mean, you could probably do it in a way. In the second one, The Lamia's Heart, they do have it's tangential in there. Just very, very tangential. In fact, 2 and 3 would work well together. Although you don't have to use them that way, because the Lamia's Heart kind of has a minor thing in the Brazen Bull and vice versa. because something that would happen in the Lamia's Heart would affect what happened in the Brazen Bull. But I think, and I like that, and I think what I would do if I was going to do that, I'd run the third one first. And then I'd run the Lamia's Heart, because I can see where it's going with the two, doing 2 and 3, but 3 and 2 might be an interesting dynamic to see how the player characters get out of that. That would be nice. And of course, it's once again, it's another quality work by Northwind Adventures. And I like it because my thing has always been, this game system doesn't have enough first to second level scenarios, unless you make them yourself. When I started with the Ghost Ship of the Desert Dunes, because yes, there was like Rats in the Walls, and there was a couple more for the first edition, but I didn't have those at the time. So I started with that and bumped everybody up to, I think, third level. I started them off at third level because that's what the minimum for the module was. But this and the other one that I reviewed, which I still can't remember how to pronounce those names, but you go back and you can see it. But this is, like I said, for first to second level, and there's a lot of stuff to do in here. There's also a ship from the first one called the Bergbreaker, which they've elaborated on a bit. It's just there for you to use, whatever. And they have some really nice maps in here. The Brazen Bull is pretty much a dungeon crawl adventure. Well, so is the first one, but the second one is, like I said, more of a heist. And if the players are not on their toes, they can really, find themselves in a sling, as they say. But I think it'd be a lot of fun for a first to second level group. I would recommend things like Remove Curse, because that comes in really handy, especially for the third one and the second one and the first one. But more the third one, not so much the other two, maybe the first one, because you're dealing with giant rats. So, that's the way that goes. I've said enough about this already. I really don't want to, how should I say? I don't want to get into, I don't want to do any spoilers other than that. But I could say, I read this, I go, oh, gotta have fun with this one. So I would recommend this. The Rats of the Walls and Other Perils by Northwind Adventures. How to get it. I got mine. They kickstarted this with a few other things like the Player's Handbook and other things like that. And that's how I got my GM screen. Hey. But if you want this module, you can get it at the Hyperborea.tv website. Print goes for $20. If you want the PDF, go over to Drive-Thru for $10. And I'll put all the stuff down there. So check this out. Go get it. And I think you're going to have you're going to have more fun than a barrel of rats. There you go. So I'm done here. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell. So until I see you folks next time, bye-bye.